Let me move this over here. So I'm a visual learner. Any visual learners out there? All right. So I'm a visual learner. So I'm thinking of Psalm 40, verse 2. And you ever notice that sometimes you're at a pool party, and a pool party is great until it's not so good? Some of you were in a pool party. It's summertime. And all of a sudden, the pool turned into a pit. Your pool party turned into a pity party. So what do you do when you find yourself in a pit, right? You know, it's like life is good until it's not. You're in trial. You're waiting. And so Dakota is in this little kiddie pool. And you notice some pits are confining, right? You're like, I feel caved in. I feel like I can't breathe. This pit is not very fun. This pool party is now a pity party. But what kind of pit is it? Bible readers read there, it says, he brought me out of what kind of pit? It's horrible. Why is it horrible? There's mud in the pit, right? So, behind Dakota, I have some special soil. You notice this is Miracle Grow, and that's going to come in handy a little bit. So I'm in a pit, and I start to climb out of the pit, but there's a problem about this pit. Sorry, Dakota. It's muddy, all right? So it's very muddy. Oh, sorry. How does that feel? All right. And not only is it muddy, but it's wet. NIV says it's like slimy, slippery. So here's the idea. You're in a pit. Think about Joseph thrown in a pit. You try to climb out, but because it's wet mud, you don't gain traction, keep sliding down. So we don't have just mud, we have
water.
All right, is that enough?
Whatever you
All right. All right, so is there a why behind the wait? Is there a purpose in your pit? Well, let me reframe this. God has put a dream inside of your heart, right? Just like Joseph had this vision, God has put a dream. There's something you're waiting for. There's something you're praying about. But just like a dream, it comes in a seed form. It's not yet developed. And there's something about seeds. For most seeds to grow, they need what? They need to be planted in soil, right? So what if the mud you're in is actually the soil for the seed of your dream? And that it looks bad, but you know what? God has you in this situation for a reason. There's a purpose behind your pit. And you notice he says, I cried out to the Lord. How many of you have shed tears while praying? You've cried, God, I need, there's some singles in there. God, I need a husband. I'm sick and tired of being single. God, I need a wife. God, I need a job. God, the finances are so hard. God, the health. David in another psalm says, God, you keep record of my tears, that you store them up in your bottle. So going back to the seed. If a seed is planted in soil, and if a seed is watered, what happens? Eventually it sprouts and grows. So here's the thing. When you're in the pit, when you're in the muddy pit, what kind of mud, what kind of soil is this? You guys remember it's Miracle Grow? What if the mud you're in is actually miracle mud? And what if the soil and the tears that you're crying through the prayers up to God is watering that dream? It's watering it. So I just want to encourage you, there is a reason behind the season you're in. There is something greater happening, but you just have to wait. And if you keep waiting on the Lord, if you keep persevering, if you believe that there's something greater on this other side, guess what? Eventually, that seed begins to blossom, and you see the dream come true. So, Dakota, let me help you. Go ahead and let's get this rinsed off here. I have to clean this up, by the way. All right, so let's get you.
That's pretty good.
Is that good? All right, let's give Dakota a hand. All right. After that, I'm gonna need some water. That is nasty.